And here I am back. The magic has returned. Child, now this actually my glasses are dirty and grungy as hell. Let me see if these are cleaner. Oh, these don't look any better. Jesus, what the heck am I doing? But anyway, this video came at the suggestion of one of the channel visitors who put up a link that she wanted me to look at for a video that was out of the UK. And I don't know if they have the same laws that we have about fair use. I don't know too much about that. I only studied law here in the United States, so I don't really know too much. So I left it alone as far as, you know, putting a clip up so you can see what was talking about. So I got to give you a summary. So basically, this young lady was going out with this dude, and it was an eggnog. Oh, this is better. It's an eggnog, and so she's sitting on this television show being interviewed about her experience where the dude, uh, was had stolen stuff for her. So this was his ruse, right? So they go out, so they're supposed to be meeting up with another couple. So he calls her saying, "Oh, I'm already out, and I forgot my wallet." And I think she said it was like their third date or so. I mean, it was pretty early on. And so she's like, "Oh, don't worry about it, just come on." First mistake. So then he comes and they wanted something from the bar and stuff. And so instead of her having the waitress come over to pay for it, she gives him her card and he goes to the bar with it. She says she's not sure when it happened, that if he took a picture of it or what, but at some point he had control of her card enough where she didn't see him, because she said she was looking at him, at the bar. But I mean, if he had his back to her, he could go click, 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 click. I mean, how long did it take for me to just do that? So it wasn't like she was going to see everything that he did. So she said then right after that, they broke up. And that then she started noticing these weird card charges on her credit card. So she gets on a WhatsApp chat with her friends and is telling them about it. And somehow she connected it to him. I don't remember those details. But so the friends, then they look on her. She has a friend who's like, she said, like a private investigator. And this friend was able to find out that he had bought flowers and had pictures of the other woman who was his quote girlfriend with the flowers that he paid for on her credit card. So, they download that from Facebook. And then dude had the nerve to want to take this other chick on a trip. He booked a hotel and air flights to Paris on this chick's credit card. So they find out when he's got his real name and everything. So they go to meet him at the airport and bring the police, and that's how he got arrested. And oh yeah, she pressed charges big time. But that was just one thing. That was just one. So I looked at, oh, it did again. Well, one thing I've had to go through, I tell you guys what I had to do is go through all the videos that I care to and delete the terms MGTOW and those related terms like that. So please don't use those anymore, because the video is instantaneously demonetized. They put the lockdown on all them dudes, so their whole channels aren't making any money. And the downside was any videos that other people like me made in response to their nonsense, those videos don't make any money either. Some of them, I mean, that was the topic. I can't change them. But in other words, others, I went and changed the title, I changed the image, I took those tags out, but there's almost 500 videos on this channel, and I was doing a lot of that at one point. So it's like, that's what I've been doing all weekend, is working on changing those. So if you guys, please, when you make your comments in the future, don't use those terms. Please don't. Just say, I don't know what, we'll come up with something else. We'll have to think of a name of ourselves, our own, but and so that we'll know what we're talking about, but it won't trigger YouTube's the axe, as I call it, because they would straight lock your shit up. They'd give us no fucks, and I had to go and change everything and then resubmit it for manual review, which takes days. Oh, this is gonna be. I might get through in a month, but yes, I mean, anybody want to donate a super chat or become a Patreon subscriber, you know, thank you. We welcome it. Every dollar is great. And so I'm like, oh my God. And they didn't give you no notice. They just went and did it. So I logged on about, I don't know, maybe 4 days ago, 5 days ago, and I noticed that I had dozens of videos that had that yellow flag. Yeah, it was just like, what the hell happened? So, but yeah, they're very serious about that. I mean, it took them long enough because they were just doing too much, but they finally got it. And so, but like I said, the rest of us had to take a L too. So I thought, when I was looking at that, I was like, wow, this is really common because I remember having gotten some letters in from women who were talking about, uh, the issues that they had with guys doing, like stuff turning up missing, borrowing money from them that they never got back, and all that kind of stuff. So I was like, wow. So I know what I wanted to do. I wanted to add a news clip so you could see it. Hold on, I'm gonna do it right now. See, I'm an expert at this shit now. I know how to do some stuff. Let me see. I guess is that a media source? I guess it is. Okay. And then let me find it right quick. Uh, mm, what's it called? I forgot what I called the damn thing. Yeah, meninist. Uh, well, I don't want to say them, Van, because then it'll get flagged. It's a quandary that we're in right now, and so if I say it, then it could get into an issue. So you guys hold on. I forgot to upload something that I wanted to show you, and I don't even remember what I called it or where I saved it. So I have to open up the program and find it. Where do they go when I'm okay? This live streams. Okay. Shoot, this is terrible. See, I was supposed to do all of this before I got you guys on here, but folks be on CP time, and I can't do it. Uh, Let me find it by the date. That's what I'll do. Oh, here it is. Okay. Your ex stole money from other women. And it's like everybody I was talking to, um, it has a story to tell about that. And so I'm like, wow, this is kind of jacked up. Okay, let me hope this works because since I just did it, Nignark, scumbag towel. Well, you guys, you just come up with some creative names. You know how to get to the channel. What's it called? Community page at the top of the main page. Just post them up there, and then we'll pick out. We'll take a vote, I guess, and see which one gets the most vote. So let's see. Let's hope this plays. You guys can watch this.
They met on a dating website phone app called Badoo.com, where the suspect displayed several photos of himself under the screen name King Luciano. but he told her his name was Cash. They agreed to meet at the Days Inn in College Park on Christmas Eve. From there, he took her out to dinner at the Waffle House on Old National Highway. But he decided the dinner was too expensive, she told police, and asked her to take him back to the hotel. On the way on Sullivan Road, he pulled out a gun and ordered her to stop the car and give him her purse and her cell phone.
She gives him the purse, and as she's attempting to get out of the car, he shoots her in the face.
It was so methodical, it has police desperate to find him.
Based on how calm she said he was when he did it, it would appear that he has did it before and he's kind of perfected it, and he'll probably do it again.
He told her he was from Nashville, but police say that could be a lie. She told police the pictures on the app are the man she met. That's why police want the public to see them. They're also hopeful this crime can be a learning experience.
When you go to these social media websites for dating, you have to be careful of the people you meet because most of the time the profile they put on there is not really them.
And so there you go. The dust, it's like a fucking dust cloud when you look at these dudes. But okay, so now I have some slides I want to show you too. Okay. This here be Mr. What's his name? Donald McGee. And it says he robbed her on a first date. They had never met, but they exchanged some texts, and eventually she agreed to pick him up on a street corner. Now, how many times have I had to tell y'all to have your standards in place? If a man does not have the basic accoutrements of manhood, maturity, and responsibility, you do not go out with him. If you meet a knucklehead that don't got no car, he don't have no driver's license, or he's, some other way just impaired so that he can't get around without some help from you or someone else, what do? Say it with me now. Don't date him. Okay, so let's go back to this story. So she she picks him up on the corner, right? They go to a park where they talked and enjoyed what appeared to be a regular date. I'm like, how is sitting in a park in a car a regular date? Okay, that's not even like the coffee date level. That's like super broke cheap. She then drove him to a Wendy's parking lot where he claimed his brother would pick him up. Of course, when the date ends at a fast food restaurant parking lot, you probably shouldn't be too surprised when things go south quicker than a couple retiring to Florida. The person who wrote this article I'm reading is hilarious. Um, when they pulled into the parking lot, McGee whipped out a gun and ordered the woman out of the car. She flagged down the car and followed him while calling 911. Cops chased him for 8 miles before apprehending him. And, you know, that was what happened there. I don't know. And see, I'm not sure, maybe he looked better when he wasn't in a mug shot. But I'm looking at dude, he looked like one of them aliens, except he got the nappy neat hairdo going on. But you know them aliens they show in all those shows that had a long skinny face and the big bubbly eyes? That would be him. Yes, he looks like a fucking bum. He sure do. Okay, so now let's look at the next slide. This young lad uh, was arrested for rape. Now, this is another aspect. Even though we're talking about robbery, they rob you and rape you, and sometimes they rob you and kill you. So, you guys, you got to be very careful when you're dealing with these dudes. I'm looking for his story. I guess I should have put this in some kind of order. That might have been like a sensible thing to do. But when have I ever done anything sensibly? I talk, but I don't, my organizational paperwork skills is not the best. All right, here we go. So this young lad here, 32, so he ain't that young. She met him on a dating site. Um, communicated with him again through text messages. She says she agreed to meet him, who picked her up and took her to his house. The victim told police that he attempted to have intercourse with her at his residence, and when she refused, the victim states she was held down and raped anyway. She was choked to the point where she began to lose consciousness. Following the incident, he forced her to shower to try to destroy evidence of the crime. She was eventually able to escape and was picked up by a friend, and he turned himself in after warrant was issued for his arrest. Okay, look at him. The dehydration is real. Girl, I'm trying to tell you, okay? Now, uh, there was another one too. Wait a minute. What did I do? Hold on. I'm gotta find it. The one I had with the white boy. I guess I didn't add that one. Okay, I skipped one. Well. Anyway, there's one I had of this white guy who uh robbed a woman, and he like stole her jewelry and shit and had her drive him to the pawn shop to sell it. I'm like, okay, dude is ballsy. He's got hella balls. So then we go on to some stories from women. And you guys, of course, I'll be taking yours too. This woman has a boyfriend who takes her money, and she says he's done it multiple times. And she doesn't know what to do, what to say to him. He's been taking money out of her account to pay for his credit card or whatever. She doesn't know what he's doing with the money. And it's been from $10 up to $40 every few days. So he's using it like his personal account. This is his personal ATM. He's been doing this for about 3 months now. It's hundreds of dollars, she says. She says she was about to go to the bank to ask them to investigate, and someone made her stop and ask dude, if he knew about it. He admitted it, and she's like, she don't know what to do now. I don't think I'll end up breaking up with him over this alone, but I'm like, well, what other reason do you need? How can you trust a man who steals from you like that? And then she says, but I know I can't trust him. What if our relationship did move forward and say we got married? I would never have a bank account with him. I could never trust him. Thoughts of my situation, please. Yes, you're stupid. You're dumb. I mean, I'm like wondering what kind of reason do you young women need to understand that you need to break up with somebody? You got a dude who is like going behind your back, stealing your money whenever he gets ready. I mean, what about what you have to do? What about the obligations that you may have to your creditors and, your rent, your car note, your insurance to keep the lights on in your house, to feed yourself, your medical bills? I mean, it's like he's not giving any fucks about that. He just need it up in your bank account whenever he gets ready. Now, see, this is one reason why. Oh yeah, Craig changed her PIN number and everything else. But see, these women, they get into these things and they trust the men with their cards and with the PIN number. And so I'm like, but if he's not putting no money in the account, then he don't need to get none out. Any dude I dated, he never had my PIN number, and I'm not giving my card to you either. If I even see you anywhere near my purse, it's a wrap and we breaking up. So it's like, I don't understand this overly trusting nature that women have. You trust these men with your money. You trust these men with your kids. I don't. What you guys doing out here? I don't get it. So me, you don't never touch my stuff. You don't touch my checkbook. You don't touch my Visa cards. You don't trust my Discovery card. You don't trust my nothing. Nothing. My ATM debit card. You get no access to my money because it's mine. And I don't understand you guys who feel like you need to share all this stuff with somebody who's just dating them. I mean, it's not community property. You know what I mean? When you're married, it's community property. So, I mean, some people still have separate bank accounts, but still, it becomes a little touchier since under the law is whatever's in your account is his too. You know what I mean? And that becomes a kind of an issue. But these young women, I don't know what's going on with y'all. Okay, so let's look at the next one. Wait, what did I just do? Okay. Now here's one. This girl, she's engaged to the dude. She's engaged. They're in their, late 20s. He's unemployed. He's an unemployed bum. And she feels like that's why he's stolen from her. No, he's stolen from you because he's a thief. There's plenty of people who are unemployed who don't go around stealing from the people that care about and trust them. This guy, he's just a thief. Whether he was employed or not, I'm sure he would be a thief because that's what thieves do is steal. So, she says that she's talking about the first time. So this has happened numerous times. You know what I mean? I had it laid out on my dresser. We don't live together yet. Yet? You better nix that idea. And I was going to use it for gas to get to work the next day. The most recent time he stole my debit card and used it, then he put it back without telling me. So see, he's trying to be sneaky on top of it, thinking I wouldn't notice. He has also stolen items besides money from me too, like computer equipment, a digital camera, and other items. I honestly don't know what to do. I loved him to death and I help him out as much as I can, but he keeps taking. I'm not even sure if it's a crime since we're engaged. And then there's more. Hold on. And I have asked questions about what would happen if I got the police involved, but I don't want to get him in trouble. I just don't know what else to do. He doesn't even apologize. He just takes things, and I don't even know what's missing until afterwards. Sometimes the money he takes, I really need for things. I'm just really confused. And then she talks about how she helps him and all this old shit over there. Okay, see, my thing is this. You don't want to get him in trouble. You're not getting him in trouble. He's getting himself in trouble by stealing from you. I'm telling you, I would have dropped a dime on that motherfucker so fast. They don't even call it. I say it's old because they don't even have pay phones no more. And we used to call it drop a dime, and then it went up to a quarter, and then they got rid of them because everybody started getting cell phones. But it's like anyway, I would have been singing like a canary. He would have been under arrest. Now what is this? What we don't understand here, what we don't know, is evidently your boyfriend either has a drug habit or he's got a gambling addiction. It's one of them two things because the kind of stuff that he's stealing is stuff that he can pawn or trade for drugs and stuff like that. And so the fact that he's stealing from you, but you keep fucking with him and you keep letting him in your house so he can steal some more. What the fuck is your problem? See, I'm just like, what is wrong with these young girls? It's just I just want to go up and down the street, just slapping the shit out of them because you guys are just acting stupid over some dried up dusty motherfucker and his dusty ass dick. It's like you act like you don't have any kind of sense, no pride about yourself, no boundaries about yourself. You scared to speak up and advocate for yourself. You just let these men run all over you. Yeah, I don't give a he would have been so booted out of my life. I would have changed my locks, changed my PIN numbers, changed to a different bank probably, just to make sure in case he made a copy of it or something. I don't know. I just don't understand. She said they're both in their late 20s. Yeah, there's like drugs or gambling. Maybe even both. Who knows? Well, see, they get so stuck on this fiance thing, and this is the kind of thing like you as parents and you got young women in your circle, you have to start deprogramming them from this, marriage is everything and I'm not anything unless I'm affiliated with a man shit. You got to start getting them out of that because this is the result. She would rather endure this kind of financial abuse than to get rid of him because they are, quote, fiance. I'm trying to tell you, I just want to do that. Like Mo or the Three Stooges. Remember how I used to grab Curly and Larry and he would just go to them? That's what I want to do. And it just drives me crazy to see people mistreating themselves like this. I don't understand it. All right, so let's look at this some more. Why does it keep going back to the front? I must have didn't program this right. I did something wrong. Okay. Now, here's a woman who's been dating the same man for 8 years. Who does that? She's been dating dude for 8 years. And she says he's always borrowing money. Now, see, this is another one. Babe, I need $10, babe. I need $20, babe. I need $50, babe. I give it back to you, this and that. And the women go for it. I would not give a man a dime. I don't give a fuck if I'm fucking you or not. I'm not giving you shit. If a man needs some money, like he has an emergency or whatever, he's supposed to go and get that from another dude. You don't get money from your girl. That is a see, that's a bitch move. That's when you know a man is either trying to pimp you or he been raised up with too many women and so he has no understanding of how men are supposed to conduct themselves. So he's like he's in a women profile. So he's like, oh, like how girlfriends do and daughters do mothers and mothers do daughters and stuff. He's in that female space about the money. Motherfucker, you don't never get shit from a woman. You don't drive her car. You go get your boy's car or you get your boy to pick you up. Your girl drives her car because it's hers. You need some money, you get it from a nigga. You don't get your money from a woman. And definitely don't try to get some money from your mama. That is just like an ultimate bitch made move. And so, she's like, she says, I don't want to seem like I'm abandoning him or that she's not the type to hold her man down. See that programming. But I don't know what to do. Sometimes I give him money that I really need, and he is so about giving it back if he gives it back at all. What do you think I should do? Should I keep giving him money? Hell no, you should keep giving him money. You should have stopped a long time ago. You should never gave him a dime. Okay, so now there's my slideshows are finished. Finally. I'm telling you, I screwed that up royally. But anyway, what do you do in a situation like this when you have a man who you guys have this twisted reverse relationship where you're taking care of him financially and giving him money? I want you all to stop doing that right now. There's some role reversal going on there. And this concerns me because of the show I just did yesterday or whatever it was when I talked about John. I talked about 3 or 4 subjects. Remember when YouTube messed up and I had to do it in 2 parts? The John Gray thing. Well, in the second half of that show, I talked about the millennial women and how statistically, since 2012, 38% of married women make more than their husbands. That was 2012 numbers. Now we're in 2018. And the millennial crowd, which are the young people, um, what did they say, from 1981 to 96, I think is considered millennials. Though in that group, 2/3 of the women make more than the men, because probably because of tech, you know. And women are very good at that kind of stuff, and they're good managers because they have a different style. So this is just going to get more and more. The difference between men and women is going to increase, and this is going to be especially prevalent in the black community because black women are the most educated demographic now in the United States. So when you have black men being the least educated and black women being the most educated, as you can see, there is a serious gap that's going to be reflected in economic power. So, if you have a relationship with someone and they're not making any money, if they even have a job at all, because they've been in and out of prison or whatever, whatever his issues are, he didn't go to college, whatever. Now, there are some jobs that, they can get that make good money, that would disqualify him from being a dusty. I'm not saying that they're going to be a dusty, but I'm saying you're going to be witnessing a vast discrepancy in income levels. How is that going to be handled? And if these men are feeling some kind of way about, they might not say anything, but they're acting out. They're doing this passive aggressive thing. They're mad that you're making more money than them. And so rather than deal with it like a G and say, talk it out or, figure out what kind of way you guys can work it out so he doesn't feel so bad, he's going to be stealing from you and, trying to like level it behind your back so he can feel justified in doing these things since you make so much money. Well, she won't even miss it. It's just, I don't have it and she does kind of thing where they're going to be, stealing your stuff. So as a young woman, you got to consider the fact that this could very well be something that does happen to you. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? This is going to be interesting. So let me see. So that was a guy who stole the car. He stole her car. I wonder what kind of car she had. Okay, the white dude I was telling you about, his name is Scott David George. Um, And what he did was He was released from prison. Dude's only 25. He was released from prison after doing 5 months for burglary and fraud. And he took 10 pieces of jewelry from this woman's house and sold it off on the way home from their date. That's what I was telling you. He had her stop by a pawn shop talking about he needed to make a payment or something. And he went in there and sold her stuff. And he was stealing things from other women, jewelry and purses. Uh, and that's what his ass ended up in jail for. I'm telling you, these dudes are just trifling. And she didn't want to. He got $290 in cash for her jewelry, and then did some time for it. Another woman wrote in, and she says, I met a man on an online dating site that stole her purse, her paycheck, and other items during a date. She knew him as Jake. They met on Tinder. You know what keeps coming up? Tinder and Plenty of Fish. Those two names keep coming up in these stories. So, y'all into this swiping, swipey thing. Do you know I've never even seen one of those? I should put it on my phone just so I can check it out. I've never even seen it. I don't know what it looks like, but I do know that people talk about how you swipe one direction if you like the person and you swipe in another direction if you don't. And so, so she evidently swiped in the one that she liked to do. She meets up with the dude. He picked her up and took her to a billiard hall where they spent some time getting to know each other, and she left all her stuff in his truck. No, in his silver four-door sedan. While there, he suddenly left with her stuff. She was advised that her purse, wallet, her paycheck, her social security card, her debit cards, and her work apron and with money were in his vehicle. And she had been trying to find him, but he never answered her phone calls. He never said goodbye to let her know that he was leaving. He just upped and left with all her stuff. Now, why would you leave your stuff in his truck? My shit goes where I go. Okay, there's another one. This woman befriended he befriended a woman on a popular dating site and then he robbed her. Again, Plenty of Fish. They met. He stole her credit cards and some gas. This was a dusty. They had a really blurry picture of him from inside, like a 7-Eleven type, store, quick something, and he was using her credit card to buy some chips and shit. I probably like to test it out. Another one, case number 5. A woman met another man on a dating site. This happened in the Bronx. He robbed her. She's 40 years old. They met on something called Badu. Do you know what that is? Badu. And then the two returned to her house around 4 a.m. He pulled what looked like a gun, took her phone, a gold chain, and ran off. Case number 6. She was robbed at knife point. This was in Little Rock, Arkansas. He took her purse and $1,200 in cash. He just cashed her paycheck, an apartment, and she met him online. She took him to her house. This was Plenty of Fish. Um, he said he would typically come to the woman's hotel room, but this time he asked her to come to him. They had seen each other 3 times and known each other for about a month. So he was doing a long-term setup trying to get to her house. And so she took him into her place. He took her to his place, which was had a TV in it, some trash bags, and no furniture. And then he robs her. Wow. I don't know. And this is a thing, I was wanted to ask you guys that. Because so she did go to his house and she reached for a lighter. He wanted to smoke, and then he pulled a knife out and told her to give her his purse, and then he tried to swinging at her legs with a knife, and this too was a dusty. So, one thing that seems to be overwhelming that keeps coming up, the women either they pick the guy up or they let him pick them up and they go to another location. They go to his house, they go to her house. Now, why would you do that with someone that you just met? You don't know, you're just seeing them. You've been texting back and forth, but you don't really know this person. See, that's why texting is dangerous and you cannot date by text. Unfortunately, for the young people who are growing up in this instant communication era, to them this kind of behavior seems normal. They just like their whole like an idea of a relationship takes place online. Um, And texting is like it's just as normal to them as talking. And so they're going to get a false sense of knowing this man and how close they are, and false sense of intimacy by all this back and forth texting. But you don't understand, ladies. You know, young women, you dealing with a dude by text. He could be texting 50 women. Okay, maybe not that many, but maybe over the course of a week he can. But over the course of a day, 10, 15 different women. Texting, 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 especially for these little bums that don't have a job. They don't have shit else to do but to set women up. And you going to their house, ladies, that's the number one thing you don't do. Because when you walk in that door, how do you know it's just you and him there? Do you know how many women have been set up for gang rapes like that? They going off to some hotel, or they going off to somebody's apartment, and then she in the living room with the dude just chilling, relaxing, and then out come from the bedroom where the door was closed come 4 or 5 niggas. What you gonna do? You there by yourself. And unless you know kung fu and have a gun or something on you, it ain't gonna be too much that's gonna happen. You just gonna be a victim. You don't go to men's homes. Neither do you invite them to yours unless you got, weaponry and shit. And so, I don't know. It's like this, where's this overly trusting nature coming from? Does anybody have an idea? Where is this coming from? Where this thing, like, you feel like you need to trust him, you need to give him trust, you need to take a chance on a man that you don't know why. Where's this coming from? Some guy just walked in your dorm room and robbed you? Oh, wow. Yeah, they are newly released inmates, and they don't have a job and they don't have any money. And you just meeting them online, you don't know their history. You don't even know if the name they're giving you is real. You don't know if even the age they're giving you is real. You don't know anything about what they're talking about, and yet you bringing them all up in your house. Especially those of you who have children. What the fuck are you doing? I mean, it's like, okay, material things you can get back. You know what I mean? But one thing you cannot get back is your health or your life or your children's lives or your children's health. And I'm talking about mental and emotional health as well as physical. So, you guys got to take more precautions. You think it's THIRST? Yeah, it's got to be something like that. Yeah, man, I'm telling you, parched and dehydrated. It just makes no sense, you guys. Come on now. Come on. These stories, and it's like if you Google, it's like thousands of these stories where this is happening to women. And sometimes it's like, even like I had a story of about a friend of mine, and this was in the mid 80s. She was a little older than me, and she uh, went to this club not too far from her house, and she brought this guy back to her place. And that's what people used to do in the 80s and 70s, the tail end of that free love mess and all that old stuff. So things were a little different than they are now. But what this guy did was, evidently put something in her drink, and she was knocked out. And he calls a couple of friends, and they cleaned her house out. She had, like, at the time, which was like the latest TV. I think it was what they used to call it. I don't know, but it was like the biggest big screen that you could get at that time. And she had all kind of gold and stuff. Girlfriend liked her blingage. They took all her jewelry. She had nice leather. They took all of that. They even took some of her electronic appliances like her microwave. I mean, they just took anything that they could sell and get money for. And she had nice stuff. Art on the walls, her black art. They took everything. And she was so knocked out, she didn't even wake up. And so, she's telling me that shit, right? I'm away at college, and I'm hearing this story. And I was like, what the hell is this? I'd never heard of no shit like that. But, with her being asleep, they had, took their sweet time and just took everything of value out of her house. She had nothing. Her bed that she was sleeping in, the dresser, the couch, some stuff like that. But everything that was electronic and everything that was sellable, they took it. Yeah, this is very dangerous times for women. It's like, we're prey to these dudes. And and like I was talking about that joke, that comedy skit that Louis C.K., the comedian, has, where men are worried about their ego, getting hurt and rejection, and women are worried about dying in a date. And that's what he says. He couldn't understand why women still even want to go out on dates. And the more I keep hearing about this kind of stuff, it just like, of course, a woman wants to have a family. She wants to have a man. That's dating is like a necessary evil. That's the only way to get to that point. But it becomes like so high risk these days. A lot of women are like, man, maybe we need to just go back to the days of arranged marriages. And I'm seriously thinking that might not be a bad idea because parents, had a better idea how to screen folks and vet them, and they was real tough on folks. But of course, with our fractured community, we don't have two-parent homes anymore. You just be the mama there, but maybe a grandfather, or uncle, or somebody could step in and help do the vetting in place of the dad if he's not willing to do it. Because this is just something is just wrong. Something is seriously, seriously wrong. You saw a married guy from your class looking for someone to do a threesome with, and he showed his face and you knew it was him? Oh my, that's not good. His poor wife. I mean, unless I hope she was in on it. I mean, you know what I mean? At least it wasn't secret or something. Um, the main thing I think that these women, the young women who are writing, are like, I'm not sure what to do. She the ones that are talking about she should get counseling. Talk to him, all this kind of stuff. What you have to realize is when you're talking about a man who's in his 20s or older, his personality is set in stone. He's not going to change. That's what always trips me out about women talking about, they think that a man is a project, that he has potential, that they can work with a brother, they can make some change happen, that they can make him better, faster, stronger. You can't do that. He is what he is. Either what you need to do is accept it and just deal with the fuckery that comes with him, or you decide you don't want to deal with that fuckery and you get rid of him. I am the get rid of type. I don't like no level of, not even like that much of fuckery. I don't want to be bothered. I'm too old. I don't feel like it. I'm like counting the days to the end of my end days now. You know what I mean? Not really, but you know what I mean. It sounds better. But no, seriously. But it's like you figure you're like near the halfway point of your life, and it's like, do I want to spend the next 40 years, dealing with some knucklehead? Do I want to do that? Or do I want to live a life of peace and accomplishment and creativity and, self actualization and things like that? I don't want to use my time and energy on drama and bullshit. So, you have to think about that, and be more self-protective. It's like these women just give and give and give, like the chick talking about. Well, the first time he stole money off the dresser, you supposed to go in there and see. You put that money there because you needed to buy gas for your car to get you to work, right? That money was there for you to do that, and he's the only one in the house. You go in there to get the money, and the money's not there. Why did you not say something then? Like, oh, where's my money? What you doing taking my money? Give it back. I need it for my to get gas in my car. And you do like this. You hold your hand out, right? And he gives you your money back because he hasn't left yet, so he's still on him, right? And you get your money back, and then when he's safely out your house, you call your landlord and you say, can you please change the locks to my apartment because I'm concerned that this guy I was dating might have made a key, right? Because he's, you can't be trusted, so you don't know. Then you call him while you at work and say, you know what you did earlier today was so fucking foul. I can't trust you. I don't want to be bothered with you. I want you out of my life. Don't you come to my house anymore. I don't want you calling me anymore. One thing I cannot do is be with a man I cannot trust. I don't trust you. You steal from me. And even though that may seem like a small amount, this stuff is not so much the amount of the money, it's the fact that you stole it. And I don't want to be bothered with you anymore. That's what you're supposed to do. But these girls are like, oh, but I love him. I love him though. What? I don't know what to do. Can you help me? Yeah. Well, I told you about the boyfriend I had who stole my grandmother's ring. I later did find out that he was dabbling in drugs. But I had already broke up with him by then. But yeah, I think that's why he stole it because he pawned it. And I was able to, once, and it was like I've never done anything like this before or since. But something told me to look in the pockets of his clothes, right? And I'm usually not that kind. I'm not that chick. I never do stuff like that. I don't care. So I start rifling through all the pockets, and in one of his jackets, I found a pawn ticket, and it's described they had like a little description, gold ring, filigree, blah blah blah, and I knew it was my ring. And so I went in his checkbook and I took a check out the back, and of course, I knew how to forge his signature, and I knew how much that ring cost, and I wrote that check to reimburse me for that ring, and I went to his bank and I cashed it. And I was waiting. He finally figured it out later, and he's like, "Well, you stole my money." I said, "Yeah, but you stole my ring." So what I did was, you took my ring without my permission, and it was my grandmother's ring. My grandmother's dead. I can't get that ring back. It was like, it had sentimental value. So now, what you did though, at least was reimburse me for the cost of the ring. Now you got a problem with that? Oh, well, I said you can have a problem with it. Then I'm gonna go down to the police station. I'm gonna file charges on you for stealing that ring. And I kept a copy of the pawn ticket so that I know, uh, and we could go and get a testimony from a statement from the pawn shop owner, and they're gonna know that it was you because you would have had to sign some documents when you pawned it. And I didn't tell you to pawn my grandmother's ring. So what you gonna do? That's gonna be jail time for your ass. So is that what you gonna do? Or are you just gonna let this go? And he said, "Well, we get to go let it go then." I said, "Yeah, I know we are, motherfucker." And then I broke up with him. So then it was like, later I found out he was dabbling in crack cocaine. It was bad. The crack stuff in Houston was bad at that time. It was something else. Honey, I had so many stories I could tell you about the people I ran into that was all fucked up with crack. And I'm like, you look a hot mess, and I don't want no parts of this. So, this thing when I was talking about her fiance, I'm like, where are your standards for marriage? How is it that you want to stay engaged to a man that steals from you and that you cannot trust any further that you can see him? And this other one, I mean, he just like using her bank account like it's his. Every couple of days, $40, $20, $60, just just like fueling his spending money from her bank account. And that's what I'm concerned about, like I said, because with women starting to make more money than men, I'm thinking we're going to see a lot more of this, and that's why I wanted to do this show, because this kind of dovetails with what I was talking about the other day. And it's going to be very important for you young women to get a clue about your, people having access to your finances. Like, if you need to, with your house, you can get like a little safe at your house. Put it in the wall, or they have the little safe, a standalone safe. They might pick the whole safe up and take it, but they still won't be able to get into it. And that's where you can put your stuff. You do not carry your social security card around on you. That should be in a safe place somewhere. The only time you need to do that is if you're applying for a job and you have to do the I-9, documents and stuff, W-2s or whatever they call it, and you have to show that with your proof, the driver's license or something, some kind of picture ID or passport or something. That's the only time you need to have your social security card. It is not an identity thing for anything other than the government or payroll. And the reason why they have to do it for payroll is because they pay payroll taxes to the government. So it's all kind of connected. But like your doctor's office, you don't need to write your social security number on any forms that they have. Just make up a number. On any other place you go, they ask for your social security number. Don't give it to them. Don't carry your social security card around. If you have credit cards, you only need one. Okay, get rid of the other ones. Close those accounts. You only need one credit card. It saves all you kind of like thousands of dollars on interest over a few couple of years period. I mean, get your money right and keep control over who has access to your stuff. Keep your checkbook, your other cards, your debit cards. Don't give nobody your PIN number. Don't write it down anywhere. If you have any problems with it, I mean, I've had so many different debit cards. Soon as something shows up that I don't know what the shit is, I cut that up and I call my credit union. I say I need a new one, and they're like, "What happened to them?" I said, "I don't know. Some shit showed up. I don't know who did it, and I don't care. And I want a different card now." And that's what I do. And they give you your money back, but you got somebody who you knowingly allowing to defraud you. Well, see, now you in different kind of water, because they could go and clean your whole account out, and you're gonna have knowledge of them going into your account, and you didn't do anything. So you can't press charges, try to get the bank to reimburse you because of fraud, because you gave that person access to your account. You knew that they were using it without your permission, and yet you did nothing to stop them. So if they clean every dime out of your account, Go take you into overdraft where you owe money and getting sued by your financial institution, that's going to be on you. Y'all need to get your shit together. This could be a very big problem. Yeah. Yeah, that's what you do. You should lock your social security card up. Well, you don't need to ever carry your social security card. And if you don't know your social security number, why not? What's wrong with you? You should know your driver's license number as well by heart. You should not need to be having those cards around. Just like you know a phone number, you should know those numbers. Come on now. Everybody here is an adult. You don't need to be, dependent on looking at a piece of paper. This is kind of depressing to me. These letters were very upsetting. I think if my daughter had been that stupid, I would be drop kicking her ass to the moon. Because it's like, what the fuck are you doing? I didn't raise you to be this dumb. And you gonna let some dude just use you like that and abuse you and mistreat you? That is marked disrespect. He don't give no two fucks about you. He just using you because for what he could get out of you, and you try and hold on to it talking about that's my fiance. He ain't no fiance. Who want to marry some clown like that? That's what I say. Your standards are all kinds of fucked up. You need to readjust that. That's not a husband material. Somebody who steals behind your back like that. Husbands build, husbands protect, husbands love and support and encourage and lift you up to be better. They don't steal from you and behind your back and try to bring you down like the girl need the money for gas to get to work. Okay, what if she couldn't go to work that day because she didn't have no more money to get, and that was her last money or something? He didn't give a fuck about that. So then she would be in a problem at her job and lose a day's pay and everything else because he took her gas money. And and don't make it. I mean, I don't want to make it seem like this is a far fetched thing, because some people, that their budget is just that tight. A lot of people's hours got cut. They still have a job, but their hours got cut, so they're not making as much as they were before. Or their company downsized, so now they have a job, but they're not making as much as they did at the job that they got downsized from. So money is tight. Or maybe it was a two couple income home and now it's just one because one of them got laid off. There's a lot of circumstances where somebody might really only have $10 to buy gas for their car to get to work that day. Okay, so, this is reality. And so people say, oh, that's just crazy. You just make it too much out of it. That's not realistic. Yes, it is. All right, so let me look at this next one. Um, Okay, did I talk about this one? I think I put this on a slide. Where the boyfriend of 8 years keeps borrowing money. Yeah, I did. She talking about what should she keep giving him money? No. Men should get money from other men. Okay, that's my take on that. Let me see. Now, what should you do? What are some ways that you can exercise caution when you're dealing with men? We just talked about a couple of things: a safe deposit box for vital documents, or a safe in your home that you know the combination to, and memorize it, ladies. Stop writing everything down where people can find it. Okay, you should be able to memorize some shit. I still remember something I had to remember. I had to remember to memorize the preamble to the Constitution when I was in the fourth grade. Do you know I still remember that shit? Why do I remember that? I don't even know why I still remember that, but I do. But when you memorize something, that's what happens. I still remember the Social Security number from one of the attorneys that I worked for, because I used to have to fill out all his documentation. And so he, gave it to me. I looked at it. I memorized the number. I still remember that Social Security number. I would never do anything with it, but I still remember it. And so if I can remember all of that, then you can remember your Social Security number and your driver's license number, ladies. Come on now. There's no reason why you should have that written down anywhere. I do? Oh, thank you. I missed it. I'm just on a roll. I'm just so disgusted with these women. Thank you for the donation. Um, Whoever did that. I'm in my. Oh, I have another super chat. Thank you. Yeah, they trying to make up for the fact that all my videos got demonetized. I was hyperventilating, you guys, when I saw them yellow, because it's like if it's green, then that means it's a go. And if it's red or it's crossed, it's like black because that means you ain't getting out a dime, nothing. But if it's yellow, then that means, sometimes advertisers come that want to deal with something that's more controversial or more adult in nature. So you could still get some ads, but it's going to be very limited. And so I had like yellow up the ass when I woke up the other day. I was like, oh my God, what happened? And then I found out what it was. So I had to go through and start editing my videos. Yes, that's good. That's what you should do. Your license number and so, exactly. Everybody should do that. You should not be have any reason to write that stuff down. It's too risky. These days, everybody they stealing your identity. They want to become you. Men want to become women too. I mean, everything's all fucked up. So you got to get your mind working here. Memorize your stuff. All right, now what should you do? Okay, because we're not going to end internet dating anytime soon. This dating stuff is going to stick around. Um, you know, excuse me. Oh, if you have too many warrants, it can limit your ability to do any live streaming. What? Really? Uh oh. Oh shoot. I didn't know that. I just started doing live streaming. How long have we been doing this, Van? Van and Bedwinch was came on board to helping me, and we haven't been at this that long. That's when I started doing live streaming. It was just been a few months, so it's a lot about it that I don't know, and I sure didn't know that. Well, I try not to. I don't have any copyrights. I mean, I try to keep my stuff relatively clean, but ooh, I'll have to remember that. I don't want any warnings. I'm trying to stay on YouTube's good side, even though they be fucking me over every time I turn around. All right, so let's look at this. Um, like if you have a dude that stole from you, what should you do? Now, there's two ways to approach this, right? Well, actually, three. Three ways to approach this. Number one, you can take whatever evidence that you have and go straight to the police and say, yes, I'm dating this man. Yes, we're engaged, whatever, whatever. But I did not give him permission to access my bank accounts. These are the list of transactions that he did without my knowledge or consent. I also missing these particular items from my home, and I want to file a police report, and I want him arrested. And that would be the first step. Then, or you can go and tell him, I know you took this, and this. You took this money. So the value of what you owe me is this. I want it back, and I want it within 24 hours. Okay. And you like, I didn't, I want it all back. I want all my property back undamaged. I want all my money back. Okay, now he might do it. He might have already sold it and won't be able to get it back. There's an issue there. I know one story I read. A woman was talking about she bought like a saw, right? A chainsaw. I don't know what she had the chainsaw for, but she had a chainsaw, and she was nice. A big orange one, and then had this, the big long blade on it. I mean, this was a nice thing. I like power tools, and so then she said, okay, Van, I'll try to figure out, what to do about that. But I'll definitely keep that in mind. And so she says sometime later she sees her boyfriend using a chainsaw, but it's some little tiny little red thing. And she's like, why are you using that? Why aren't you use mine? Mine's better. And he said, this is yours. So he had swapped out her brand new, nice, expensive chainsaw for this little ratchet little garage sale thing that he picked up from somewhere. So, he did a switcheroo. And so, he was kept trying to convince her, like he was gaslighting her to convince her that that little red one, when she knew that hers was orange, she had the receipt with the color description on it, the picture and everything from the catalog. I mean, she knew which one was hers, and he was trying to gaslight her, but she still stayed in a relationship with him. Why? I don't understand that. But this is what these guys are doing. And so the other point, I said there's three things. So one is demand your stuff back. The first one was go to the police. Second one is demand everything back within 24 hours or 48 hours or whatever you want to do. The third thing is to consider this. If he has any kind of anger management issues, you've seen, examples of it. His temper gets off, he gets violent or anything like that, threatens people, want to fight folks, all this kind of stuff, then you have to consider if it's worth it. Is this situation, possibly putting your life at risk about some material items that you could replace? Is it worth it? Some money that you could, I mean, you just be out the money, but the items, you can replace those items. So it's not like they only made one, right? Everything that we own these days is pretty much mass produced. You can go and get another one. So would you really want to risk your life with a crazy fucker than just let him have that stuff and just get rid of him? Well, my thing is, with this dude, I didn't even ask him. I just wrote a check out of his account because I knew when his ass got paid and I knew he would have money in there. And I went into the bank and cashed it. I didn't deposit it, I cashed it. So it wasn't nothing he could do because, if you deposit, they could put a stop payment on it and all that kind of stuff. So I wasn't taking any chances. I went to his branch and I cashed it. And that was that. But, they get digmatized, I guess. But see, I ain't never had no dick that good. I mean, I've had some that's fabulous, but my thing is, I always maintain mental control. And if I even sense that a guy could potentially have that kind of pull on me, I don't fuck with him. And you could tell just by how they touch you and how they kiss you and stuff. And if you feel any kind of tremors along those directions, some women run towards danger. Deb puts on the brakes and looks at that motherfucker, and I'd be like, nope, we're not gonna do this because I know where this could be taking me, and I could be in jail behind this motherfucker here, and I'm not gonna do that. So I don't. I put brakes and boundaries around things where I don't want to. I'm not trying to get myself in a strict bag like that about some man. But some women do, and then you can't you can't pull away. You just keep thinking about that dick, and it's just too bad for you. That's sad. I do. I sure do. First phone number that I had to remember. I remember my mother's license plate. In California now they have what, 7 numbers, and we up on nine, and then the 3 letters, and then the 3 numbers. My parents had just the six, the 3 letters, and the 3 numbers, and I still remember that license plate from that car. I have a great memory. So when people talking about, you forgot, or I told you this and that, and you forgot, it's like, don't even try that, because I don't forget stuff like that. Now I might forget like the name of somebody who, wrote a book or something. I mean, I'll remember it, but I don't might not be like on the tip of my tongue kind of thing. But I don't forget nothing. I remember everything. So niggas be trying to pull that shit, and I will pull out a whole conversation on their ass. You said this, and then I said this, and you said that, and then I said this, and then you looked like this, and then I looked like that, and then we said this, and then we said that, and then you left, and then they just look at you. So it's like, I don't know what to say. Well, Erlene, if you don't have no sound that's on your computer, you might need to reboot or check your sound card or something. Um, yeah, well, my mother's license plate, this was from like the 70s. I still remember that when I was a little kid. Um, all right, so let's talk about some. Hey, Faith, thank you. Now, see, I see this one. I just happen to be looking at the screen. Thank you. The wine. Yes. Oh my God. I'm gonna have to go down the street. I wrecked up my car. I'm still trying to decide what to do about it. Should I get another one? Should I get it fixed? Uh, right now I'm just like walking around, taking Uber or taking a bus while I try to make up my mind what I want to do. Because I really don't want to have a car note. Ugh, that's gonna change a whole bunch of lifestyle thing options that I have right now. Putting all that money in a car. I don't want to do that. Okay, so let's talk about how you can, since we know that internet dating is not going anywhere. We're pretty much stuck with it, and it's our society has changed so that this began. It used to be just a peripheral type thing where only people who are considered to be, on fringe element losers or something use internet dating. It's gone mainstream now. It's an integral part of our society, like worldwide. People be using Tinder in Korea and Japan and everywhere else, or some version of that kind of that technology. So it's not going anywhere. But what we have to look at, though, is what women can do to make using these apps safer. So, you guys are welcome to type your comments in there because, the chat shows up on the instant replay so people can read it. So, feel free to type your comments in there and, they'll be able to see what you got to say. So, my thing is this. You got to remember when on these sites, these are strangers. You don't know nothing about these people. Like we said earlier, they could have just got out of prison that morning. They could have been in prison for murder, sexual assault, some other violent crime, gang bang. You don't know who this person is. You don't know if they name that they told you is real. You don't know anything about them as far as what they do for work, where they work, their family background. You don't know anything. Okay, this is a complete stranger. So you have to get into your vetting mode. And if you get, and ladies, you need to trust yourself more. If you get any like ick vibe from the dude, anything that makes you pause, makes you turn your head like this, or you go like this, even if it's not physical, it's mental, where you go like, wait, what? Kind of thing. Stop, believe in yourself, and leave him alone. Block him. That's all you got to do. Don't go any further. You don't need to offer any excuses why you don't want to see him or why you don't want to talk to him. They get into complaint. That's why you women are single. That you don't give a brother a chance. You don't give. You just have your standards are too high. You don't want anyone to really love you. You don't want to work with somebody. Blah blah blah. But yes, you gotta have a Google number. That's the that's the number one thing I advocate. But anybody who you're just meeting like that, you got to ask a lot of questions and you need to talk to them numerous times before you even think about going out anywhere. Okay, what else do you do? You don't go to their house and you don't let them come to yours. They don't need to know where you live. You don't need to know where they live. You don't need to know where they work. They don't need to know where you work. You just like a general thing, like, oh, I'm in the tech industry. I'm in the medical field. I'm in the legal field. I work as a secretary. I work at, construction. Whatever you want to say, general. Okay, so they know the industry, but they don't need to know particulars. Um, you need to avoid giving out too much personal information. Now, I just started with that with the thing, but I used to have what you call when I was going, into that mode. I used to have what they call a club name. I didn't give people my real name. They didn't know they had my little fake name, and so when they would see me out and somebody called me that name, I would instantly know where I had to have met them somewhere because they didn't even know my real name. And so they would, hey, well, I'm not going to tell you what my club name was because I want to still use it. But um, that put up barriers because before they used to have a phone book, right, where you could go in a phone book and unless you requested that your number not be listed, your number was in there along with your address. And then they started giving people the options not to put their address in, but your name and first and last name and your phone number were still in there. And then, but society has changed a lot. But still, I mean, these were things that would cause a lot of risk to women, and a lot of women were getting stalked and beaten and killed because these men were just they were too accessible. So when you meet a guy, he just needs to know your first name. He doesn't need to know your last name. Okay? My name is Deb. Oh, hey, Deb. Oh, my name is Cheryl. Hey, Cheryl. My name is Rhonda. Hey, Rhonda. My name is Bill. Okay. If he says offers his last name, that's good, but that don't mean you're gonna give him yours. Okay, you don't need to give him your real phone number. Get that Google number working or some other service like that. So it runs interference between your real life and the life on the internet that you're trying to establish. You're not gonna He want to send you a present. He wants to, pick you up. He's trying to get to know where you are. He want to send you flowers to your job. All those kind of things. See, a lot of women are so dumb. They be like, "Oh, okay," and then they just give the man their address. You don't do that. You just say, "Well, that's a very nice thought, but I'm gonna pass. I don't really feel like I know you well enough for us to be exchanging gifts yet." You see what I mean? He wants to know where you work. Oh, we don't get. I don't can't make take personal calls at work. So just feel free. We'll just talk after work hours. That's better for me. I'm more relaxed, and I don't be so rushed. You can always have some bullshit ass excuse why you're not gonna give him that information, and he don't need to meet you out. You go somewhere and you meet his ass out, and it's really ideal if you take an Uber. So you're not even in your own car. Or park your car somewhere else, like by a police station, and then take the Uber from there. Um, mm, Yeah, make sure that you don't, like we said, don't keep all that that social security card and all your credit cards and your checkbook and all that stuff in your purse when you're going out on a date. Leave that shit at home. You know what I mean? Why some women just have one, carry everything in a bag. You don't need to do all that. Take only what you need. And we used to use fanny packs. Those too bad those went out of style. But they still had these little crossbody like messenger bag type of things that look pretty, they look pretty sporty. And unless you go into some elegante place, you can pretty much use that. Your shit is on your body. Your arm is covering it so nobody can pickpocket it because access is there, and you keep only on you what you need: a certain amount of cash, one credit card, your driver's license if you're driving, something like that. And just be mindful of these things, okay? Make sure that somebody knows where you are. As old as I am, when I go someplace, somebody always knows who I'm going, where I'm going, what time I'm supposed to be there, what time I'm supposed to be back, and who I'm going to see while I'm there. I do that. My friends and I, we do that with each other all the time. So that if somebody don't text you at the appointed time, you send a text, where are you? If they don't respond back within about 5 minutes or so, okay, then, you need to have a plan what you going to do. What happens if you don't hear from your friend 30 minutes or hour go by and she has not responded to the text from the time that she's told you she would check in with you? That's a warning. That's a red flag. Yes. And yeah, that's good. That's what they do. They get to talking about sex real soon too. That's a boundary violation. That lets you know exactly where his head is. And you be like, oh, well, I don't know if I should talk to you about that. Instead of just shutting his ass down. It's like, nah, what are you talking about that for? If I was sleeping with you, you would know to answer that question. And so, since we're not, there's no reason for you to even have that information about me. So, change the subject. And then they be like, well, you all uptight to try to get defensive about it. You so uptight. No other woman I talked to had a problem with it. Oh, really? So, where's them bitches now then? If they didn't have a problem with it, they had a problem with it. They just wasn't as vocal about telling you about it as I am. They did the passive aggressive thing, but I straight tell a motherfucker to your face, don't talk to me about your dick. I don't give a shit about your dick, and you don't need to give a shit about what's going on in my drawers either, nigga. If I wanted you to have some information about that, you would know. Oh my God. Yes, you got to do that. I mean, I don't give a fuck if you're 50 years old. Somebody needs to know where you're going and who you're going with. And another little trick, like if he's wanted, like say you want to go do you want to pick you up, right? Make sure you take a picture of him, and then you take a picture of his license plate, and then you send that to somebody. You act froggy and foolish if you want to. Your ass is you know, we got records now. And it's like, the people do what you do in the way. Oh, let's take a picture to memorialize. And you take the little selfie or whatever they call it. But basically, it's a picture of his ass. A nice close up, well lit one. And then you send it to your friend. There are some websites, I forgot, I was supposed to look that up. I forgot. I'm just remembering just now. Where, you mash a button on your phone and anything that you record or that you take a picture of is automatically uploaded to the cloud. Like automatically, you don't even have to do anything else. It's like the second that it happens, it goes there and it's there for safekeeping until you take it back. You don't want a hubby? Yeah, don't leave your food by itself. Don't leave your drinks by itself. If you going to you gonna order a drink, he's like, "Can I get you a drink?" You don't have him go get you shit. The waitress needs to come to your table and bring it. And if he gets up to go and meet her, you don't want that drink. If he goes to the bar to get it, you don't want that drink. You want the waitress to bring you your drink and sit your drink down right in front of you where you can see her fix it and you see her bring it, you know? And it's just sad that it has to be like that, but it does. You just cannot trust these dudes. And they be putting shit in your food, they be putting shit in your drinks. I mean, like if I get up and have to leave a drink, like if I'm going to go to the bathroom, I'll either drink the whole thing before I go if I'm being greedy and a drunk, or I get up and leave it. And it's when I come back, they be like, "Are you going to finish your drink?" "Nope, waitress." And I give me a new one. And they be like, "Well, you just wasted that money." I'm like, "You like it so much, you drink it." Yeah, niggas will suddenly change the tune. That's how you know it was some bullshit. Because otherwise they would reach for it and drink it since they buying it, right? But as soon as they, oh, well, no, they got some excuse why they don't want to drink it. Yeah, yeah, you think I'm stupid? I know what time it is. Deb was not born yesterday. So I get a new drink. I'll leave that one for him. If he don't want to drink it, then you already know what that means. And so, you know, and you don't get sloppy drunk. You only need to have one drink. You drinking wine with your dinner? Are you going out to a happy hour or something? You have one drink. And then after that, you have soda or you have sparkling club soda. I like to drink Perrier. You have that with some a twist of lime in it or something, and you sit there and you sip on that, and you don't drink no more alcohol. You need to keep your wits about you. Okay, honey, I'm not playing with these folks. Yeah, I have a Tiger Claw. You can order those online. Actually, I have two. I have one, and my daughter has one. You can just order them online. Those women's self protection websites. They sell all those kind of stuff to women. Some states don't let you have it though, so make sure that they sell to your state and that's legal in your state. So, but pepper spray, all that stuff. You have to, uh, just make sure that you have all the proper permits or whatever training, whatever to use it that you require that's required in your municipality. You don't want to break the law. Yep, take your purse with you. That's why I suggest that, like I said, the little shoulder thing. So no matter what you do, you out there dancing, your shit is on you. You go to the bathroom, you in the stall, your shit is on you. It's not on a hook where somebody can reach over and snatch it. It's on you. That's why, I'm telling you, I'd be thinking about all this kind of stuff. I just am a tripper, I have to admit it. But what else can you do? Okay. If you A lot of women get caught up in what they call, this lady made this phrase popular called love bombing. But they just like to do just be rushing you through the relationship. They don't want to let it unfold at a natural speed. They want to call you 55 million times a day and text you constantly. Good morning, Angel. Oh, I just wanted to hear your voice. So they calling you at 10 o'clock. Motherfucker, it was just 8:30 before I was coming to work, and you was texting me talking about good morning. Now it's an hour and a half later, and you already calling. Then they call you at lunchtime. Oh, what are you doing? What are you eating? And they want to take up your whole lunch hour talking about bullshit. And then you in the afternoon, you got a meeting to go to or something. You got something you need to do. And here he come wanting to talk again. And then after work, he want to talk to you while you commuting home, you driving home. And then he want to talk to you and go to fall asleep on the phone and all this old shit. See, no, we're not doing all that. That's a red flag. Either the dude is trying to set you up because they want to build the intimacy, the feeling of closeness really quickly. So you get like dizzy because it's like you feel like you talk to him so much, you know him so well because he's always in your ear, right? Or he's always in your face. That is a tactic. You need to slow that down. I'll tell you how to do that in a minute. The other thing that could be is he's so fucked up. He's hiding something. And he wants to try to get you emotionally connected to him before it's revealed or before you find it out. So they come on real strong and try to rush you into that level of emotional commitment to them. Where you all tied up and mesmerized and shit, and you're less likely to want to break up with him because you feel so connected to him now. So it's always one of them too. And either way, though, you as the woman are in control of the pace of the relationship. Those of you who like that high speed, fast paced shit, you need to change that. That's ridiculous. Grow the fuck up. You don't need no man coming at you like that. You need to be like, having the strength of of purpose to properly vet these men. You can't do that when they in your ear all the time. You need time to think and logically analyze and see if his shit's lining up, all the stuff he's telling you, if the stories all match up. But see, when they keep, coming at you like that, you just like dizzy from all the attention and the flattery, and oh, he want to be, he want to talk to me, he want to be with me, and y'all just get all just caught up in all of that. Your ego is getting all these boosts from this man's attention, and you lose sight of what you're supposed to be doing to protect yourself. You lose track. And then you get all caught up in some bullshit, and then you want to write me and bug me half to death with some nonsense when I done already told you what to do and you don't want to do it. So this is the thing. When you got a dude coming at you like that, you say, really can't talk now. I'll talk to you this evening or tomorrow or something. You space shit out. He wants to see you every day. No, the only person I would imagine myself seeing every day is someone that I'm married to. And even then, I might not want to really, make a joke about it or something like that. But you don't let him see you every day. He hasn't earned that privilege. If that the only way he gets to do that, if this you got a rock on this finger and you done said some I do's, then that motherfucker can see you every day. That's why I'm not a fan of living with men either. So then the other thing that they try to do is, they try to rush you into bed, because you say, well, I only want to be, intimate with a man that, I'm in a committed relationship with. Well, like I said on another show, committed relationship coming right up because they're going to try to rush you through all those preliminaries to make you feel like you're committed, like you know him. So then he's going to ask you to be his woman on like the third date or something, second, third time he talks to you on the phone. And then you're going to say yes. And then so the next time he sees you, he's going to be tapping that ass. And then he's going to be out. Well, I don't think this is going to work. We moved too fast. He's going to blame you for it. When all you had to do was slow things down and properly vet the man, like I said. You got to keep your wits about you. This is very serious. These dudes be having diseases, they be having baby mamas, they have wives, they have whole families and shit that they be hiding. And y'all just be too caught up in all the words and the romance and how you think he feels about you. You know? If you guys order something from Amazon, please go do it through my store. What you got to do is go to my blog, blacksgoingvegan.com or survivingdating.com, and you'll see a link there for my book on Amazon. Just click that, and then anything that you order after clicking that link on my blog will be credited to my blog. That's another way that you can help me without even having to do a super chat or anything like that. It's not a lot of credit, but we do get credit, for whatever that you buy. So remember that. One of my blogs, survivingdating.com or blacksgoingvegan.com. You don't have to be a vegan. Just go to the site and click the shop Amazon box, and then go ahead and order your stuff, and it'll be credited to my site. Okay, so that's another way that you can help the Depsterism channel. So let's do some other ways. So you never send or lend money to anybody that you meet online. There's a lot of older people who get caught up in this. They actually call it has a name, the Nigerian dating scam, where they be, they're sometimes they're men pretending to be women, right? They just send some random picture, and these older white dudes or older black dudes think that they have, you know, a romance going. And so then the person talks to him or stuff and online, and then after a while they go, oh, I have this emergency. My mother's sick and she needs a surgery, and I have most of the money, but I'm short, $4,200. Do you think you could, do you have it to spare that you could help my mother? And so the person, feeling all in love and sorry, and they had the money, and so they've already been vetted to be somebody who's got these ends, right? So then they wire the money to the Nigerian man pretending to be a woman, and then they start taking them. We had one when I worked for Adult Protective Services. This one lady has sent over $100,000 over a couple of year period to somebody in New York. I mean in Nigeria. Oh, I have another super chat. Thank you. I can't see it. It's like if I don't see it right away, it fades off the screen here. Cause mirror, I'm not on YouTube. I'm using the chat that pulls this third party client that pulls in chats from YouTube and Twitch into one screen so I can see everything. So I don't get if it doesn't hold it, so I missed it. But whoever said did it, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Yeah, honey, 100 grand. The poor lady was losing her house, and she was like in her 70s. She was losing her house. Her kids were trying to figure out, if there's anything they could do. But I mean, it's an international transaction. They had no way to trace it. The person who was getting it, they don't know who this name is that she was sending it to. I mean, it was a hot mess. And so basically, her kids, I mean, they lost the house. So one of her daughters had to take her in, and the other sons was helping. I mean, it was just a mess. Poor thing, just everything, because she thought that she was going, having this person to love her. So, women's neediness can definitely be used against you. That's why I'm always advocating for people to work on their self esteem. If you work on your self esteem and you can build yourself up, you won't be looking for that to come from other people. The instant you look for yourself to be defined, to be recognized, to be validated, and to feel okay about who you are being reflected from someone else's eyes or actions, it's a wrap for you. It's over, because who and what you are, you don't have any strength of purpose or any idea who and what you are or your value unless someone tells you that you are. And you don't think that you're good looking unless someone tells you that you are. You don't think that you're smart unless someone tells you that you are. You don't think that you're sexy unless someone tells you that you are. Everything that comes that you think about yourself came from the lips of other people, and then they can turn right around and yank that rug right out from under you, which also happens when they want to manipulate you. So now you just an ugly bitch. I just lied and told you was. So then there you are, all crumbled and stuff, feeling all devastated and lost because what the self-esteem that you think you got from them, they're taking it back. But that's the whole key to the word self hyphen esteem. You can't get self-esteem from somebody else. That's a misnomer. So you people who are, thinking that that's what's happening, you're getting some kind of ego boost from it, certainly, but you're not getting any self-esteem. Their self-esteem is shot all to hell, and that's why, you feel so shattered when these people move on and leave you. You can't, exactly. But that's a concept that you need to make sure that you teach your daughters and your sons. Boys need that message just as much as girls do, but girls really have to have it, because otherwise they get set up by these older dudes, especially to be prey, um, and used for whatever nefarious purposes, because they're looking for that validation. You as a mother and you as a father need to validate your daughters and your sons. You need to teach them how to have a healthy sense of self-esteem. If congratulate them for things that they do well, even from the time that they're 2 or 3 years old. It's like, wow, you let me think of something real quick. They're learning how to feed themselves. Okay, now they just a baby. They're learning how to feed themselves. Oh, you do that so well. Look how you put the food in there. You don't make a mess all over the place. Good job. Okay. That's how you help build your child's self-esteem. So from the beginning, yes, you as a parent have to, do that self-acknowledgement. But after a while, the child knows that they are good, that they have worth, that they have value, that they can make their dreams come true, that they can succeed in tasks that they try out, that they can overcome obstacles. Those are things that you as a parent give them foundational courage to do, and then they take the ball and run with it. But if you're always critical of your child, you ain't shit, you can't do nothing right, blah, blah, blah. Are you just like a helicopter parent hovering over and they never do anything themselves? They never get a chance to make a mistake. And you're always constantly reinforcing that, you have to do it so that it'll be, quote, done right. Your child is going to feel very insecure and afraid to make mistakes. These are the things that you have to do as a parent to lay the foundation, so when your daughter becomes a teenager, your son becomes a young man, he has confidence in himself to go out in the world and affect change and be successful. So, you have to do that for your kids. You can't let other people get in their heads more than you do, more than you do. You cannot do that. You'll just set them up to be just all kinds of fucked up. All right? So that's, I think, is what, right, encourage them. Support them and encourage them. One of the most interesting things I saw, I put it up on my YouTube wall too. This little girl looked like a little stick. And she had such, she could tell that her family was not wealthy because her teeth was all kinds of fucked up. Wealthy people who see the dentist. And she's a little skinny girl, and her dad brought her on. I think it was like Britain's Got Talent or whatever that show is. And she she just looked just like a little regular kid, and she had come with her dad. And that little girl took hold of that microphone, honey, and it sounded like Janis Joplin reincarnated. I swear to God. I was sitting there looking at the screen. I saw it on YouTube, and I was just like in disbelief because I'm from that era. And she was blowing, honey. And this I'm telling, little girl, skinny like this, little skinny little thing. Probably, I think she was about 12 years old or something. She sounded just like Janis Joplin. It was freaky how similar she sounded. And she had her little dance. She was hopping across the stage like Alanis Morissette, and she was getting it. And the judges were so amazed at her performance. They gave her that, what is that, gold star, where you don't even have to go, you just go right to the top competition. They pressed that. Howie Mandel pressed it for her. Come to find out that people were telling this little girl that she couldn't sing, that she wasn't nothing, but her father believed in her so much, and the town people where she came from so much, they got the money together to send her to audition. Her father, she just jumped in his arms. It's like making me get choked up. She jumped in his arms, and I was like so proud of her. I don't even know this little girl, but to know how she felt, because her dad believed in her and he went to the end for her. That's how you got to do your kids. If your kids have an ability, you have to nurture it. You have to show them that you believe in them, and you have to give them every opportunity to be successful in this world that you can. This man, he borrowed money, people gave him money. I mean, everybody contributed to this little girl's success. And it was a beautiful thing to see. It was really good. So I would like to see some things like that happen. You know, to young black kids, that would make me really happy. Especially to these little girls they just lost, just by the letters that we saw here today. I don't know necessarily the race of these young women, not all of them. I did see some of the pictures, though, for the criminals. They were black, but we don't know the nationality of the women that they went out with. And then for the ones that are just letters, I don't know that either. But, this is the kind of thing where we as adult women, we got to do something about this. We got to help these girls get themselves together. Yeah, I got choked up when I was watching it too. I mean, they were happy tears, but you could just feel her joy and excitement. And, at 12 years old, I remember that feeling of, that of wonder and amazement that you could actually do something so profoundly great that you have a whole room full of people standing up and clapping for you. And your dad in tears because you did something that he's so proud of you about. And that's why it took me back, to when I was that age, and that was a similar situation that I had. So, you know, this can be a turning point for you and the young women that you have influence over. I'm glad that everyone was able to come through. I know the Soul Train, well, at least I don't know, over here in the West Coast, the Soul Train Awards was on. I guess it's probably off of you for you on the East Coast because y'all are 3 hours ahead. Oh, you met Janis Joplin? Okay. Yeah, honey, that little girl could blow. I was like, damn. I really was like, what? I had to stand up at my computer and just like did a double take and then rewound the video and watched it again. And then I got choked up because it was so cute. She was so cute. But yeah, you guys, this was good. I'm hoping that some good will come out of this discussion. Feel free to share the link around to young women that you know who do this online dating and just are a little bit too free with taking the risks that they take, trusting these men too much. If no one tells them these things, they don't know. Like to think that it's okay to go pick up some busted dude that don't got a car on from a street corner. You should be telling girls, and you don't do that. He don't have a car. He don't have no way to get to the location. You don't pick him up in your car. His motherfucking ass need to hitchhike or ride his skateboard or just do whatever he gonna do. One of them motorized scooter things, or take a Uber or something. Come out of pocket for if you don't have a way to get there. Then you don't need to be going on a date. That's the bottom line. And notice how they take him on some cheap shit that's free. They don't even go to a coffee bar or nothing where he got to spend no money. Go sit in a park. He just wanted her car. She's lucky she didn't get attacked. All he took was a car. Because she got insurance for that. She can get another car. But I'm telling you, well, older women I don't really care so much about. I'm just not tripping about that because, I'm trying to help the young girls who don't have anybody that's trying to help them. Usually, by the time women get older, they already know this stuff. They're just choosing not to do it. They're choosing it. You have young girls in their teens and 20s who honestly don't know. And that's the market that I'm going after to get them up to speed. Everybody else, you on your own. If it brings you some information here, can help these older women with the online dating, well, then I'm all for that. But my primary focus is on teens and young women, the ones who are going to be having babies and, being tricked into a whole bunch of stuff, and they're just very vulnerable at that age because they're still caught up in the fairy tale prince happily ever after bullshit that all of us have left behind years ago. But they're still there, they're still caught up in it, and they need to support a man, they need to be there, they need to build him up, they need to nurture him, they need to lift him up, they need to have his back, they need to hold him down. They're still under that mentality, and for those, that's why this video was made. All right.